Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Stampin' Chat, a little later in the day than usual on a Tuesday. So I'm just going to check that I'm live in the right place and just enlarge so that I can read your comments if anybody is stopping by. So I'm normally live here at 10 in the morning, but Cole's had a scan at the hospital this morning, so I needed to go and sit with the girls. So I thought I would schedule to this afternoon and hope that somebody will be around. So today I'm going to be stamping with the Delicate Dahlias, which are a Sale-a-Bration free gift, and also the Peaceful Dia with the matching punch. So of course the Delicate Dahlias are a free gift from Stampin' Up when you spend £90 through our Sale-a-Bration promotion, and the Peaceful Dia is from the mini catalogue that launched this month, the July to December. Even though it's August, I know we're a little late, we're behind. So if anyone is stopping by, please do say hello. It's always nice to know who is here. Maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon is not the best time to go live. 10 o'clock is probably better for a lot of you. But you can catch the replay. This will be also uploaded to YouTube, so you can head over to my YouTube channel and catch me over there as well for the replay. So I am going to be using both of these sets, but not together. I'm using them separately. Hello Ruth, how are you doing? Hoping you got your little parcel through your door yesterday. Dashing about, so I was with the girls most of the day yesterday as well. Of course, I had another appointment at the hospital. There was a bit of a mix-up with appointments. So, yeah, so I was out and about, so I managed to detour your way and get something through your door. I'm feeling a bit windswept. The weather it's cool out there. Very cool. Quite breezy. And yeah, so the hair's a bit flyaway. And it's due a wash as well. So feel a bit kind of scruffy. Okay, I think I'm going to turn you down and get going because I don't want to hold you up for too long today, and I've got lots of things to catch up on as well. So bear with me while I move everything out of the way. Excuse the palm of my hand while I turn you down. You tried to watch the video the Facebook Live I did last night. I know Facebook was doing that for me as well. I was trying to watch a leaders meeting and it just kept throwing me out. It's very distracting, isn't it? I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's to do with internet connection, but it is a bit frustrating. Hopefully, fingers crossed, things will run smoothly here because you never know what's going to happen with a live. So hello Lucy-Anne. I saw you earlier, so we've already had a little chat today. So I had to drop something off with Lucy-Anne. I did a swap in my team. I organised a swap using new catalogue product. And Lucy and I were partners on the swap. So Lucy-Anne, I should say. So I dropped over her swap and picked up mine. And I've kind of got home, quickly had a bite to eat and run up here. So my swap is still over in the house, Lucy, and I've not had a chance to look at it properly, but I know that it involves penguins, which is super exciting. Okay, let me turn you down. Excuse the palm of the hand. If you're hopping on, say hello. I can see there's a few people here. Let's get zoomed in a little bit. Wait for the catch up. Oh, my MacBook is frozen. Thanks for that. Oh, I haven't even got my light plugged in. Let's plug my light in to my Mac. Lighting is good. Just refresh my page. It's always a pain when I have to refresh because I can't read the comments properly. You can see probably I've got all my, what I might do is squidge you over that way a bit and pull my grid paper that way, but I need to just wait for it to catch up. And then we can get going. You can see my stamps down here on my desk. Okay, I think we are good to go. I moved that rather a lot then, didn't I? I think we're okay. I can always try and zoom in a little bit. Let's tape it down. So these are the two stamp sets I'm using. I will probably use the Deer first and then move on to the Dahlias. This is my colour combo for the Peaceful Deer cards. So we've got some soft suede, Evening Evergreen, Misty Moonlight. I've actually got, I think I'm using Crumb Cake as well. So lovely, that's a lovely kind of masculine combo to make a card. Love all those colours together. But this one is going to be festive. So let's just lay all of those down. Move that one to one side because I'm going to be using that after. And I've got lots of samples to show with that one as well. Do I need to zoom? Don't know what happened then. I went to zoom in and it zoomed me right out. Ugh. I've got to learn not to touch this zoom button, haven't I? Just look, see if I can see some comments. Can't see it all in one go. Okay, the other product that goes with this bundle is the Deer Builder Punch. And as you can see, it coordinates, try to get it without a glare. It coordinates with two of the images in the stamp set, and I've been fussy cutting out the others, but you could of course just stamp them straight down onto your projects. What else are we using? Pretty much things that I was using last time. So some of the craft 6x6 paper, which you know I am in love with. And then some of the Bedazzling paper, which is in the Sale-a-Bration. And it's the first one, I'm just grabbing my brochure. It's the first one in the book. It is gorgeous. And you can colour with it as well. I was having a little play with it the other day and I inked up, hoping you can see the difference in that. I've inked this up with Soft Succulent ink refill in one of our little spritzer bottles with some isopropyl, and I just sprayed it on. And I think really you need quite a lot of refill to a small amount of alcohol, because I did pretty much soak my sheet to get that amount of colour. So bearing in mind Soft Succulent is quite a pale green, so it's good to have an experiment. So, you know, I love that you can colour this paper. So I'm using those two. And I do believe I'm using this lovely fern from the Wintry embossing folder set. So both of those come as one purchase. And I'm also using the double oval punch as well. So let's get started. Don't want to be on here forever. I mean, I love being on here forever, don't get me wrong, but I'm always worried that it goes on a bit too long. Excuse me, let's have a quick drink before we start. There's a few of you hopping on, that's good. Thank you to whoever you are. I can see, I know there's a couple of you who I know because you're chatting with me. Oops, let's bring in our first, I just lost a piece out of my kit. Let's bring in our first card. So these are all my bits and pieces. Not a lot going on in there. So I'm starting with a basic white base layer, my usual size, and excuse the state of my nails, they've all broken. My nail that constantly splits, I caught it at the weekend amongst all the preparations for the baby shower, and it kind of tore, so it's not looking very pretty. And then I broke two others as well. So, and this one that I use for, you know, pulling back soft dimensionals and things like that, you don't realise how much you get used to having a bit of nail growth. Okay, then the other two layers I've got is a piece of Soft Succulent and another layer of basic white, that fits just inside there. So let's start off with adding a bit of colour to this layer and doing a bit of stamping. I've also got a very skinny strip of the craft paper as well. They're calling it paper. It is quite thick. It is quite thick. It's in between card and paper, but it's lovely. And you get 20 sheets in that pack of 6x6, and I think it's just £5.50. So from the Peaceful Deer, I thought today I would use some of the trees. And this is quite a simple card I'm doing for you. Nothing really rocket science. I'm using some deer, one of the deer, and I'm also using the deer builder punch as well. And I've mounted up the largest tree with the next size down and the smallest. And what I love is there are 4 different sizes of trees in this set, which are just so useful. I'm going to start with the large one first, and I'm going to pull out my Evening Evergreen ink. Just try and see. Oh, hello, Belle. How are you doing? My MacBook threw me out, so, well, I say my MacBook, probably the internet. So I had to refresh my page, and the view is never the same when you have to refresh. So comments are right down at the bottom, and I can't see the whole of my screen and all of the comments. It's a bit annoying. So baby shower looked lovely. It was amazing. I thought I'd share photos. You know me, I'm quite a personal person. But it was such a lovely event. Honestly, I cannot stop thinking about it. And we all keep reminiscing all of the time. We had just such a lovely time. And we were lucky with the weather because obviously it was mainly outside. So yeah, it was beautiful. Such a lovely event. And of course, I didn't organise all of the outside decor. Cole's best friend Brogan did all that. She organised everything. And we got some pallets in that she'd asked to get, but she did everything else, and I just sorted the food. So yeah, which was kind of the easy bit, but also stressful as well. And of course, making sure everything was tidy. So I've just inked up the largest tree in Evening Evergreen. I'm going to pop it over this side of my white layer. How beautiful is that? Got a bit less ink at the bottom, but I'm not worried about that one bit. And then I'm going to do another one right next to it, but just a tad lower. And I don't mind that it will be touching. I've got my wet wipe to hand over here because me and dark coloured ink are not the best combination. Ruth, thank you. Yes, it did look beautiful. The lanterns just, they were so pretty hanging in the trees. Thankfully, it wasn't as windy as it is right at the moment. And Jason had blown like all the leaves, picked all the leaves up on Thursday evening and Friday morning where we'd had a bit of a windy evening. There was a few leaves down, but it was brilliant. It was lovely. Definitely an event to remember. We won't be forgetting that one in a long while. Now I'm going to take the cluster of 3 trees, again in the evergreen, and I'm going to pop them a bit higher as if they are sort of in the distance. Don't know how much higher. Let's just go with it like that. And then the tiniest set, I think these are the smallest. Yeah, the smallest. Out of the 4, I'm just going to pop that next door to those. And as you can see, just the way the bottom has a curve on it, you are able to join them up. So they look like they're all one stamp really. So let's move you out of the way. And as our ink dries, it does go slightly paler. So do remember that. You can see. And I've got a bit of gradient in there. I'm not too bothered about that. It all adds to the effect. So now I'm going to pull in my Misty Moonlight, which is my favourite blue for doing skies. And then my blending brush. Just going to add a bit of colour to the sky area. So I'm just applying a very small amount of pressure at this moment, and then I work a bit heavier. So initially I go very gently. I take off the initial amount and then I start very gently and then just apply a bit more pressure. So just creating like a bit of sky, just a bit of colour all around the trees. I think that's probably enough. Can't actually see what I'm doing. And I'm going to leave that open because I may need that for the next one. Then we're just going to add some splats with my Stampin' Right marker. This is Night of Navy. I've been using this one on the last few projects. Just going to add some splats into the skyline there. And that layer is done. And then what we can do, hopefully that ink has dried, is pop this straight down onto the soft succulent layer. So very simple background, just on one layer. I don't want to press too hard up here, just in case any of those dots are not quite dry. And then I'm going to add this to my base. Now I'm looking at my original and I raised this on a dimensional, but I don't think I need to. I think that's just me being extra, so I'm going to pop it flat down onto my base. But it does look nice raised up, but we are going to raise some other things up on top of this as well, so at this point it doesn't need any extra height. Hello Zana, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. We're playing with the Peaceful Deer at the moment, and then I'm going to be moving on to the Delicate Dahlias, which is one of our free offerings for Sale-a-Bration. Okay, let's just pop that to one side. Then I'm going to bring in the craft paper. Let's turn over to that clean side. And then I'm using the crumb cake for the deer. So I'm using this line image of the deer. And I just want to stamp it down. Now I just want to carefully roll that a bit just so it's a little flatter, because it is quite curvy when you get it out of the packaging. And let's make a bit of room so you can see what we're doing. So just in the crumb cake ink, I'm going to stamp down onto the craft. I don't want to waste any. Do it right down in the corner. And the crumb cake ink stands out lovely against the craft card. Really stands out. You'd almost think that was done in suede, in the soft suede. And then I'm going to take my punch, working upside down, and line it in. My eyes don't want to focus. I think that's okay. Nice crisp punch. We don't want any antlers at the moment. So we just used a very corner part of that. Still plenty left on there for another project. And then in the stamp set, you've got this tiny little stamp here, which I always refer to as a little pile of pebbles. That one's really, I think, that is designed for the markings on the deer. So, Zana, you like the free stamp set, the Dahlias? Yes, isn't it lovely? And hello, Michelle. How are you doing, my lovely? Thank you for stopping by. And this I'm going to stamp again in the crumb cake. See a bit of fluff on there, and just add a bit to the back and then some just down like the neck and chest area. That was a bit heavy-handed, but it does just finish it off, I think. And then what I like to do is add, with my Stampin' chalk marker, just add a little couple of dots. And I've told you this last week, this pen is nearing the end of its life. I need to get another one. I've had it a very long time, and it's okay for putting these little dots in. And it does look a bit scruffy, but I think it just lifts it a bit. Move these inks back a little bit. See if I can get see where I'm at, make sure I'm still, you're able to see what I'm doing. And then I've mounted this little sweetie. Let's find a scrap. Going to ink that one up in the crumb cake as well. Not applying too much pressure because it's a very fine line stamp. And then we'll just trim around there. We'll start with the ears first because they're the trickiest part. Don't know if you can hear the sheep. I haven't got the window open, the door's open downstairs. They are bleating away out there in the field. Bit of fluff again. I can't see if I'm in shot. I hope I am. I lost my flow then of cutting. When you look away, wouldn't like to chop its head off. That wouldn't be kind, would it? Oops. I just need to trim that bit. So we've got our two elements cut out there. And then the greeting, my favourite greeting. I've got two favourites in here. In fact, I like all of them. So I love the Merry Christmas. I love the style of that font, but I also love this one here, Sending Love and Peace This Season. But they're all good, really. You know, Let's Celebrate. You saw me use that with some non-Christmas projects I did with this stamp set. And I just love this one, Wishing You a Wonderful Year and Friendships Dear. That's so sweet. So I'm going to use this one, Sending Love and Peace This Season. Sorry, just scrolling for comments. And I've mounted it up ready. So it's this one. Take a scrap. Don't know if it will fit on that scrap I just had. It should do. And this time I'm going to do my greeting in soft suede. Just so it's a bit darker and it stands out a bit. And then I'm going to stamp it again over there. And this is where the double oval punch comes into it. So we're just going to line that in. Takes a minute just to kind of make sure it's central. I think that will do. I love it when I say that. I chuckle to myself. I think that will do. And then I move it. I'm like, no, it's not quite central. I know I make you chuckle. You know, that's why I'm here. It's entertainment, isn't it? So we've got that lovely, it fits perfectly in there, doesn't it? And then, of course, because she loves to fussy cut, let's just trim around here, really randomly. Not really following any guidelines. Just wiggling up and down as if I was following along the line of the script. And then I've just cut out, really roughly, Love and Peace. That's all our stamping, I think, for this one. Let's start putting it together. Got an extra strip I cut of the craft paper as well. Just scrolling. And what I'm going to do is cut it a little bit longer than this piece. And I need to just grab my banner punch. I hope I've left enough length. And I'm just going to feed it in and punch. Am I in shot? Can you see it poking around here? I'm just feeding it in and hoping, such a job to see, that I've got it centrally. It's a little bit off. To cut just a little flag tail. Do you know, guys, I think I need to go and get my eyes well, I don't think I need to. I need to go and get my eyes retested because I'm finding, just pop that one back. I'm finding now that I'm having to move, even though I've got my glasses on, I'm having to like move things like further away to see them with my glasses on, which is not great. So I really need to make that appointment and just go and get myself tested. Now, is that a bit long or am I being fussy? I'm going to take a smidge more off. Just a smidge. I just feel it's overhanging too much. So just line it in. It does move a little bit before you cut. That's better. Straighten it out, and I'm going to attach it to this piece first. Yeah, definitely need to go and get those eyes tested, I think, because it's getting harder. I noticed because I was over here working last night, and although it was daylight, and maybe it's because my eyes were tired as well, I was really struggling. I was fussy cutting and I was really struggling even with good light over here. And then I'm going to add on this little piece. Somewhere I've got some edges. Here we are. Let's just cut some really skinny strips. And pop those just on the back. Oops. Doesn't want to come off. So the edge of your dimensionals are really, really handy for adding skinny bits of foam. And then we'll just pop it on right over the top. Like that. So it just gives us a different look rather than just having it flat. And I think I'm going to pop that up in the sky. Right up there. Oop. I did to press a bit harder. You know what it's like, the Tombow doesn't stick straight away, which is good, because sometimes we stick things down and we don't want them to go there and we change our mind quite quickly. Excuse me. Let's pop a couple of dimensionals behind the deer. And then he's kind of down here, prancing around like that. And then to finish, just pop the rabbit flat down as well. Let's curl his ears up. So there we go, really quite simple for me, not too many layers, only one layer of dimensionals, which is quite unusual. but just like a little scene. So showing you how you can use the trees just to create yourself a background, and then a bit of blending using the brush and some splat just to create like a bit of a sky. So very, very simple for me, not too much fussy cutting. That's the first one. Excuse me, I've definitely got a frog in my throat. Let's find another kit. Pull out my card. So we've got one more Christmassy one, and then we'll move on to the dahlias. Yes, Belle, very restrained on the dimensionals. Are you impressed? Let me show you my original. It looks no different. They look the same, but when it's in your hand, this is just layered up, which I do like that look. It gives it a bit more substance. But from appearance, they look the same, really, at first glance. Right, quite a few bits and pieces in here. Now this card follows on from the design that I used last week. Got something on the inside of there. Where's my... It's going to go on the inside, so it doesn't matter. We can use that as our insert side. Check I'm still in shot. And then we've got some of the craft cardstock with a layer of basic white, exactly what I did on my cards last week. And then I've pre-cut from the Merriest Frames this lovely inner stitched rectangle that I seem to use quite a lot. It's a huge die set, isn't it? But I seem to use that one on other projects as well. So what I thought I would do on this one is using the ferny one from the wintry set. So if you're using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, we pop this one in, and I use this line quite a lot here to line up my paper inside. So we only have layer number 1, and then we have our, because this is a 3D embossing folder, we have our grey number 4, which sits over the top. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle is commenting on my last card, and then that runs through. Make sure the fold is going in first, and make sure this is on top of your embossing folder, otherwise it will bend your folder, which we don't really want, because it just makes it harder to line your pieces of paper inside. Put those layers back together. This is stunning, this embossing folder. Can never get it out. Put you away. Absolutely beautiful. The reverse is equally nice as well, just gives you a different look. Now let's just check whether it has shrunk it. No, I think it's fine. So we'll just go with that. And layer that onto the craft. And the reason the craft is this size, if you caught me last Tuesday, a little bit longer at that end, so you know me, I might have to trim a bit off, just of there, teeny weeny sliver. Nobody else would probably notice, but I would. The width of this measures 3 inches. Because the paper is 6 inches wide, I have been using pieces that are 3 inches and 2 inches, so that you can get more from your one sheet of 6x6. If you cut it at 3.5, then you're left with a smaller one. So by cutting it at 3, you've got 2 nice, equal, good sizes Obviously you could go longer because I think this is only 4 5/8. So you've got until 6 inches, but you get left with that strip at the bottom, which is always useful. I've got a little bag of strips and pieces. Oh, hi Stephanie, how are you? Sorry I didn't see you on here earlier. Thank you. You think the card was pretty? Yeah, it's just such a delicate set, isn't it, this? It's so sweet, I think. So lovely. Kind of cute, but not cutesy. It's pretty. Let's put this layer straight down onto our base. Just going to give it a bit of encouragement to lay flat. I like to put plenty of Tombow on the back of this craft because I feel it needs a bit extra than a normal cardstock, and because it's slightly curved, I guess that must be something that's in the paper in producing it that makes it curve like that. If anybody knows why it curves, I would love to know. So I think that's stuck down there nicely. Oh, it's just stunning. That embossing folder is beautiful. Next, we're going to pull in this layer. I've got some marks on here. That's happened during die cutting. You tend to get marks off of your plates that will imprint onto the white. It really does show up. But usually an adhesive remover or a rubber will take that off for you. I'm going to do the same process. Shall I do this bit first? Yeah, let's do this bit first. And we're going to add a bit of sky. So this is Misty Moonlight. I'm going to take some off. I just want a bit of subtle colour at the top, not too much. Just a bit of subtle. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can. I daren't hit that zoom button anymore. I've already had one mishap of playing with the old zoom button. Right, I'm just cleaning one of my stamps because I want to use a different colour. So for this one I chose to use the soft succulent. Wouldn't hurt if I'd have used the evening evergreen really. Maybe I will. Maybe I will, and then it will go with the card that I've just made. I think I originally designed this card when I did last week's cards as well. So we'll stick with these colours. And I'm going to just use this triple one again. Ink it in the evergreen. Have my piece straight to start with, that's always good. And then just stamp the trees down over this side. I love the dark against the sky, the background. Put that one back and add in just a few splats. Got the right end. Not too much. Oop, she says. Not too much, and then huge splats come out. Be fine though. It will be fine. And then I've pre-cut somewhere. I thought I had pre-cut. I'm fishing around in a glue jar. And I've got a dahlia stuck in there, which is taking up. Where are those bits that I pre-cut? I know I did them because I can remember doing them. Oh well, I'll have to do them again. Let's find a scrap. So I used from the cloche dies. I'm going to have to locate those quickly. I've used just this one, I think. But do you know what I'm going to do for the purpose of today? Rather than bringing in another product, let's just take the oval punch and punch a snow mound. We don't want a scallopy one, that won't quite look so effective. But we'll just use that instead of the cloche dies. Pop a couple of dimensionals behind there. Oh, my Mac's gone to sleep now. I wasn't paying attention. It totally went to sleep. And then we're going to add this one. Just in here, I want to hide the line of the trees that I made, if I can. So it's just sitting over the top there. I think that's straight, isn't it? Yep. And then I need another little bunny. Let's just cut that bit off. I need another little rabbit. Don't think I've already done him, have I? No. So we'll just cut him out quickly. And I've already done this little lying down deer, which could be a fawn because it looks a lot smaller than the others. Let's just take that out of the way. I find dirty grid paper really distracting. Probably doesn't bother you guys, but you know I'm the fussy one. So just trimming around. You could add colour to these images, but I quite like just the line effect with the white, no colour inside. It just keeps them very simple looking and keeps the whole card very kind of natural and earthy looking to me. Then I've got a couple of strips. Oh, I managed to splat on that one. Couple of strips of basic white, and then I want to pull in my Merry Christmas greeting because I do love this one. It's that one there. This set is so lovely, guys. If it's not on your wish list, I would like to know why, because it is lovely. It doesn't look very clean, does it? Ooh. I'm normally really good. When I finish a craft session, I clear everything, clean everything. Even when I am live at night doing a class, I will give everything a good clean. I don't never leave everything out, because I believe that when you sit down to create, if you've got a nice tidy workspace, you will be far more productive than if you come to sit down and you are faced with a mess. That's what I think anyway. That's my theory. A tidy workspace is a productive workspace. And I'm not saying that by the end of a craft session everything is tidy by the time I finished. Oh, my paper moved. It's far from. I'm going to go with that. Might just grab a skinnier one. See if I can get it on there. We all work differently though. I wouldn't judge anybody, of course. Is that skinnier? No, it's the same width. Neither is that. My eyes are playing tricks with me. Let's just stamp another on here. Let's line it up with my grid paper first. Then you've got a head start on getting it straight. Yeah, obviously I wouldn't judge. We all work differently. I'm a very tidy worker, I think. I don't like working in a mess. I don't like having a mess around me. But you know what it's like when you're in the zone, you're working away, things get opened, inks get opened, stamp sets get opened, and then your workspace gets smaller and smaller as mountains of product appear around you. Lucianne, your mum got the Peaceful Deer bundle. Oh, lucky her, because it is beautiful. Right, what I'm going to do next is mount this onto this piece of craft. If you can hear something outside, we're having some plinth heaters fitted in the kitchen in preparation for winter, because we are mid-August. Last year we put the heating on in September. I mean, we may not have to this year. Who knows? We're apparently having a heat wave coming our way, but still, I wouldn't rely on what the weather forecast says, especially not the one on the iPhone. It's never very accurate. Hello, Kay. How are you doing, my lovely? How are you? Thank you for stopping by. We're just using the Peaceful Deer, doing a bit of Christmas. I know it's August, but we have to start, don't we? I'm drip feeding this month. There'll be more to come next month. So I think that's all the stamping. Let's start putting everything together. So I've got another, oh, I need a bigger strip. I need a bigger strip of this, a wider strip. I think it will look better. I've cut a skinnier one. Those of you that are just hopping in, this is the free Sale-a-Bration speciality paper. But also know that you can colour it using the spritzer bottles from Stampin' Up. They come in a pack of 2, I want to say. I think there's something ridiculous, like £2.75. And in here I've just got some of the soft succulent re-inker along with some isopropyl, which is alcohol. Which means that when you spray it, it dries pretty quickly because it evaporates. So let's just trim, not going to measure. Let's just trim a piece of that. Yeah, so it sounds like he's cutting pipe or something over there. I'm not sure. But yeah, the heating went on in September last year. And we just had a delivery of a biomass delivery last week. So we've got sustainable heating here. It's going to trim this to length approximately. So it's like eco heating. And we have wood pellets that get blown into a big hopper. And then those get burnt, and then that's what provides our heat. It's a very technical setup, way beyond me. Let's pop this layer down. So yeah, heating went on last September. The year before it was October. So obviously it will just depend what our weather's like at the time. But the plinth heaters are going down in the kitchen, and you step down into our kitchen, it's all flagstone floors down there and lots of windows and lots of concrete walls. So it does get a bit chilly. We've got a log burner down there, a small log burner. And also last year we bought, if any of you got a log burner, we bought last year one of those little fans that you sit on the top of the log burner. What a great investment that was. And it blows heat from that comes out from the fire in the opposite direction that the fire is facing. So it blows it down, rather than going down into the smug where the fire faces, it blows it more up to the kitchen. It's brilliant. It works really, really well. I'm just going to pop this layer down. So yeah, we're hoping that the plinth heaters will just kind of heat up the floor a little, blow a bit of warm air from below. So it'll be exciting to see. Just going to lay that one down there. Like that, hoping that is straight. I do love these trees. Okay. And then we'll pop in our greeting. Of course, we'll add more dimensionals. Oops. Alf is excited. Oh, Alex has called him. He's came up to get his bone and now he's scarpered back down with it. He's obviously going to play with him, throw it across the garden. Alf's favourite pastime. I'm just going to pop this one hanging over the edge here. I want it quite high, but within this panel. Don't want to hide the trees. I think that's straight. And then my deer and my rabbits. I'm going to go on dimensionals as well. Yeah, Alfie loves, he will sit and wait for you to throw his bone. Doesn't have a ball, he has like a plastic bone. He will sit for hours waiting. He just sits and stares at you as if he's possessed, waiting for someone to throw it for him. Bless him. I'm going to pop one down here. Am I still in shot? Oh, Lucianne, your mum's Peaceful Deer bundle is coming tomorrow. Oh, she's going to have lots of fun with it. It's super, super cute. And then we'll just put the rabbit down there. And then I thought it would be nice just to use a bit more of this lovely paper. And I've cut a couple of stars from the Tidings of Christmas die set. Let me grab it. Not Tidings of Christmas, Christmas Trimmings. Oh, all these names we have to remember. And it's this one here. Really good die set. I focused a lot on that. Was it last month or was it July? I think it might have been July. Might have been June. The way time flies by. Lose track of time. We'll just pop one down there. Press it down. And we'll have one over here. I can hear him telling him to stay. Because as soon as you pick the bone up to throw, he runs like half a mile across the lawn before you've even thrown it. Hello, Ellie. How are you, my lovely? It's been a school shoe shopping day. Oh, gosh. I don't envy you on that one. Expensive and stressful. Kay, are you having freezing? I would have probably said that was your connection, your internet connection. I mean, it normally happens to me a lot, but it's not even happening to me here. It did happen when I first came on. But it's saying that I'm still live and still rolling, so yeah, 3 lots of shoes, Ellie. Expensive day shopping. So there we are, that one's done. Really simple, really kind of natural and neutral. I just love this look. I love all the white space. You know I love the white space. So, and again I'll show you my original because it was in the soft succulent. So, okay, you're gonna, yeah, go out, lovely, refresh, just refresh and come back in and you'll probably find it will just catch up and you should be fine. Just scrolling through messages. Lucianne, you're going to start your Christmas card soon. Yeah, don't leave it too long because the way time goes, it will be here before we know it. Oh, the thought of it. How does it come round so fast? Okay, so that's my 2 shares with the Peaceful Deer. What I made last week was these 2. So again, I've used the exact same sizes of paper on today's cards. So I'm not reinventing the wheel. They're kind of like the same but different. All the same colours apart from the soft succulent. I've switched for the evergreen today. So that's my Christmas share for now. And I want to move on to the Delicate Dahlias. Thank you, Belle. Yeah, subtle with a bit of glimmer. I don't think I need evergreen. I don't think I need crumb cake. So I'm going to put you to one side and switch you. Oh, favourite colours, guys. Soft succulent, pale papaya, got some craft whites. And then I will be using a bit of soft succulent as well. Now, last week I was playing, let's bring in the stamps. So this is the stamp. It's in the Sale-a-Bration brochure. Just pulling my screen down again. in the Sale-a-Bration brochure, it's near the back and it's free when you spend £90 on anything. It is really worth it. Honestly, it is beautiful. I love that gold. I should imagine that's gold embossed on that centre card with those pops of colour and a bit of ribbon in there. And what I was talking about last time, I think, is that sometimes we can feel quite intimidated. Let's just move some of these stamps out of the way. Quite intimidated by a large image like this that needs to be coloured in. And the great thing about this set is that we've already got the infill stamp here. So if we want to create something quickly and simply, we can stamp our outline and then add colour with the coordinating stamp. So this is a 2-step stamp set. And we've got the same for the flower, same for both leaves as well. So it's brilliant. It's a large set. This one always sticks to the opposite. It's a lovely large set of stamps. What I'm going to do, I have to remind myself which card I'm making. Let me do that first, otherwise I'm going to get totally confused. I've got some others to show you. So I just need that one, and I need the outline and the thank you kindly, but I love the font style in here. It's beautiful, honestly beautiful. It's well worth investing, spending the £90 to get this one. Let's just mount up these. And there was something else I needed. Where have I put it? From the Merriest Moments, I thought I'd use this. Oops, they've all fallen out. You can see they've had lots of use. They started to lose their cling. And if that happens to you, just wash them in a gentle soapy wash, and then they will regain their cling again. So let's just move that off of a block, and we'll have that one mounted ready. Okay, so let me go through how I've been playing with this. I'll show you what I did with it last week. Some of you obviously were on here live. So this was what I created last week. I think I did another card with it as well. Or did I just do one? Last week seems like such a long time ago. Just checking comments. I absolutely loved creating this, and the way I did this was I used just basic white cardstock. I stamped the outline in Versamark and then heat embossed with white powder, not onto watercolour paper, just onto our basic white. And then I coloured it with a painting brush, so an aqua painter or a water painter as we would call them, using the pale papaya ink. And I didn't apply much water because I didn't want it to, make the paper peel or make a hole in my paper. So these images were stamped flat onto basic white with the solid stamp from the set. And the same with the leaves. I didn't use the outline, I just stamped them straight down onto basic white cardstock. But then I got playing and thought, how else could we colour this in? So then I created this one, which is the same card but different. But on this one, I used the Fluid 100 watercolour paper. Let me grab it. So this is a product that Stampin' Up sells. It's 100% cotton, so it's you can apply a lot of water when you're painting with this, and the paper will take it. So we've got a slightly different look. If you look at the flower, it doesn't quite look as white. But then what I did was I stamped my leaves, the outer part of the leaves, in the white, and then I water painted those as well. And then I just did the flowers the same. So I don't like this as much because I don't like the leaves as much with the white. But it was an experiment. I wanted to see different ways of colouring and how different the stamp could look. So next, I thought, let's try some gold. Now, I'll hold my hand up here. My Versamark ink needed re-inking when I did this one. So there isn't much of a glimmer happening when I heat embossed. It almost looks like it hasn't been heat embossed, but it did still take the powder. And I did exactly the same. I used the outline stamp on basic white cardstock, so not on watercolour paper, and then I carefully coloured in both the leaves and the large flower using the aqua painter or water painters with a pot of water and the pale papaya and the soft succulent, and just coloured them in. So a different look again to my original, same design. I just moved the glimmer paper, it's not glimmer paper, now it's gone out of my head what it's called, the Bee Dazzling. I just took it from the left and put it underneath my greeting. So same card, same images almost, just coloured in a different way. And I still think this one is my favourite. Then I had a go at colouring with the stamps that are included in the set. So I stamped my outline in Memento. Then I coloured in the centre of the flower and the leaves using the solid stamps that go with it, which is really quick, simple stamping. Obviously not such simple fussy cutting. We need dies to go with this, guys. But just a totally different look again. Added just some of the standard background flower, this one, the solid stamp, as the flower. And then I did colour in the Bee Dazzling paper that I showed you earlier. So again, virtually identical card, but just coloured in differently, inked with different inks, and no fussy watercolouring or worrying about how you're going to colour it, just using the inner, like the infill, I always call it the infill stamp that just fills in the colour. And then I did use some different gems on this one. So 4 cards that are the same, but all coloured very differently, using the same colours, but just to show you different techniques. And there will be way more than these. And as out of all of them, I think this one is still my favourite. There's just something I love about it. The watercolour paper is slightly creamier than the white, but I think it still works alongside our basic white as well. So that being said, I thought let's try one more way using this outline image. So I'm going to use exactly the same pieces. Let's move these out of the way just a moment. I've got deer everywhere. Inked up deer stamps. How are we doing for time? Just been going an hour, that's not too bad. Belle, you love the embossed one, but they're all lovely. Yeah, I do love a bit of embossing. I'm going to do a bit of embossing for you now, guys. Simple embossing. So same basic white layer, base layer, same piece of craft cardstock, which measures 2 inches by 5.5. So you're going to get 3 of these from one sheet, which, you know, that's the way my brain works. How can I have enough of this on my cardstock so that it shows on my card, but how can I maximize that sheet of 6 by 6 to create as many cards as I can? So 2 inches works well for me. I've got another strip of the Bee Dazzling. So what I'm going to do first is add that. So I'm just going to trim it slightly shorter than, I don't know if that was straight, nope, than the width. There's no exact measurement. You've seen I've just done it by eye. Add a bit of Tombow, oops. pick it up without dropping it if possible. I'm going to lay it as I did with the others. Move you over a bit. Just along the edge there. I'm hoping that it's straight. Just checking comments. Have a quick drink. And for this card, I thought I'd do it landscape. So it's going to be the same but different, but it's going to go landscape. Now with my pale papaya, I'm going to pull in my trusty blending brush. I don't know what that is. I think I got a bit of Tombow on there, and I think it's picked up colour from this sheet when I've been using it. Right, am I in shot? So let's pick up some colour, take a bit off, and then I'm going to add some just up at the top of my card. Need a little bit more. So it's always best to add gently when you're using the blending brushes than going in heavy-handed to start with and then finding that you've got like a heavy line or a smudge. So I love that you can just build it up to suit whatever you're doing. So it's just a soft, subtle layer there. Then that lovely splat from the Merriest Moments. I need my crumb cake actually on this one, and not my soft suede that I thought I needed. So we'll put that away. And I'm just going to, now I can't remember whether I stamped this off or not. Let's just see how dark it comes out. It's quite pale. I'm going to go full strength. And I'm just going to add, I do love this splat. Let me see, scroll. Okay, does the craft card work on the embossing folders? I am sure it does. I will try it in a moment. I will try it. So I'm just going to add a bit of splattage up there. I think I might have stamped off. And I'm guesstimating here. Maybe one there as well. Let's try a bit and see. I'll run it through the Wintry, which is a 3D embossing folder. I'm sure it works lovely. I haven't tried it. There's no reason why it shouldn't. It would look lovely with a wood grain. It works lovely, just as it would on normal paper or cardstock. I'll use that for something else. But I love the craft. I love the craft. I'm already hoping that it carries over into the next catalogue, because Christmas is not long enough for me to use it. What's that on there? Where's my little rubber? Oh, I don't know what that is. It won't come off. Never mind, it won't hurt. What we'll do, we'll put this on and then we know it's on here. And then we can work on the dahlia. It's so pretty, isn't it? I mean, I do love that embossing folder as it is. Looks lovely on white, of course, but... Okay, so we've just got a layer going down there. Now I'm going to give this one a bit of a clean. Oh, look how well loved this chamois is. It is clean, believe it or not. I do always feel though you do need to clean that chamois quite regularly, because obviously you're taking ink that's left on here and you're putting it into your chamois. So you need to rinse it out quite often. Next, I'm going to use the Whisper White, which, as I always say, is not so white. But I'm going to just add, oh, do you know what? I've just realised what I've done. But it doesn't matter in the slightest. But what I will do is use, I didn't actually use this on my original. And I've got the stamp set right here to remind me. I used this from the new Gorgeous Leaves. Let's pull that one out and use that one on this. How daft. How daft was that? But it doesn't matter because it's two separate parts of the card. So we'll mount that up. I mean, this is the splat of all splats for me. It's really pretty. Let's ink that up in the craft white. And we'll pop one over here. And one down here somewhere. And hope that that works. MacBook's timing out. So we've just added some splats in craft white and in crumb cake. Right, onto this dahlia. Where is my spongy mat? So what I thought I would do for this one is do some clear embossing. And to enable us to do this, you could just stamp in Versamark. I'm going to use this one. Stamp it down onto your paper and then emboss with clear embossing powder, which I've got here that I'm going to pull in. But I thought I would give in extra layer of colour. Just going to add a bit of powder on here, just so that we don't get any unwanted static when we heat. So we're going to ink up this flower. I need to get you in shot. Let's move it there. In Versamark first. I'm going to give it a really good ink. Then I'm going to dip it into my pale papaya and stamp it down. Pull in some scrap. I don't have this in a pot. And this is the clear embossing powder. And I'm just going to pour that over, make sure it's all covered. I don't normally like doing this on my workspace because I hate powder everywhere and it does escape off of the paper. Let's just move that out of the way. Bring in the heat tool. Put the lid on this, of course. We don't want to blow it away anywhere. Just turn the heat tool on and get it warm. Check your comments. Just takes a minute to warm up. I've got a dahlia stuck in my goo jar that doesn't want to come out. I think we're warm now. And then we'll just heat this. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Now I didn't try this without adding the extra colour after, but it just really makes it pop. So I didn't try it just using Versamark. Of course, if you did this onto white, it would stand out lovely as well. Hope you can see that turning. It is beautiful. Do you know what? I think have I done this on the wrong colour? No, I haven't. My eyes are playing tricks. I think we are all heated. And then hopefully you can see the glare on there. Whoops. And I'm just going to trim that off. Put the lid on my Versamark. Move that one out of the way. And just, I say quickly, trim around this one. It is quite a painful image to cut around if you are not a fussy cutter. But honestly, it is worth the pain if you find it hard. And you don't have to go so close to the edge. You don't have to be over particular, because your eyes focus on the flower. So just, I'm going as quickly as I can. Try not to leave too much of a gap. We're halfway there. Hoping you can actually see what I'm doing. I do try to go down into like the little nooks. I just feel this flower is screaming to be cut. Of course, you can cut different elements of this dahlia. You could cut out like the center part of it and layer it, kind of like decoupage with it, if you love to fussy cut. If you don't like fussy cutting, you can just stamp this straight down onto your layer on your card. Nobody says you have to cut it out. But Stampin' Up, if you're listening, I think we'd all agree a die would be so lovely to go with this. Don't think that's possible. So there, can you see? How beautiful is that? You could at this point add extra colour with a blending brush, whatever you like. But I am just going to leave it kind of naked because I wanted you to see the simplicity of this. So just literally stamping it and then applying clear embossing powder. Let's bring our card back in. Oh, my MacBook's gone to sleep. I hope you guys haven't gone to sleep. Thank you, Kay. You think it's pretty? Yeah, it is really pretty. It's just I'm trying to show as many ways as I can so that you didn't have to go through the pain of me fussy cutting these leaves. I've done these ahead of time and simply, where are my stamps? I've just used this one in the same process that I did. I stamped it onto soft succulent with the Versamark and the ink, heat embossed it with clear embossing powder, and then I've just cut them out. So nothing too tricky. Let's add a couple of dimensionals. Because we know this girl loves a bit of dimension. Loves to spend excess money on her postage. And we're going to pop that one just down there. Let's curl these up a little. Of course, you could curl them down, you'll get a different look. And we'll just slide them in randomly behind the flower. Just pull you out while I determine where I want you. Wanted you to go in a bit more, but you can stay there. And then another one down to balance. Like that. So it's just a different look. And then I did ahead of time because I knew I was going to be over time. I stamped the word "thank you kindly" from the Delicate Dahlias in clear embossing powder. So it's this lovely one here. And then just heated it with gold. It's a bit crooked, but I'm going with it. I know you'll be impressed with me, Belle, for embracing the wonk. And then I will pop a dimensional over on this side, round about there. Forgot to put glue on. Let's put a bit of glue under there, otherwise it will rock about. Just hold that for a minute because it needs to adhere to the embossed layer. Lucianne, you're totally correct. You could do this with the sunflower set. I do not have that set. I'm now wishing that leaf was in a bit more. I'm gonna pull it out. Don't scream at me. Chop off a bit. That's better. Where did the bit go that I chopped off? I feel like it's... There it is. I knew it was somewhere. Stuck to me. So we've just got our flower, our leaves, our greeting. And then I thought to finish, because I'd heat embossed with the gold, I would just use a couple of the metallic pearls in the gold. I definitely need another packet of these, don't I? I'm running very low. They're so dainty and pretty. They are all one size. You get a sheet of silver and a sheet of gold. So put one down here, just hanging in there, and then maybe a couple up here. Like that. And there we go. Let's bring in my original because I think my splats look better on this one. So there we go. I was really pleased with how that turned out. And that's exactly the same layout as this one, just on its side. So don't make work for yourselves. When you get a design, rotate it, twist it, move pieces that are the same size to different parts of the card. Just don't make work. Let's bring them all in. Lots of dahlias. So obviously it's not as subtle, that one. I still think this one is my favourite. But the heat embossing just gives it a different look. And I think if you maybe added either with your blends or with the blending brush, maybe a bit of colour to the ends, just to make that flower kind of pop a little more. Oh, sun's coming in. Then it would look different as well. Also got the one that I did in the memento. So lots of dahlia inspo. And then of course we did the deer. Remember, the deer is a free choice when you join my team this month. Of course I'm going to talk about it. There's 12 sets to choose from and the deer is one of them. So the starter kit's £99, get £130 worth of product, and you get to choose a free bundle as well. And as I've said, there's 12 to choose from. So a great opportunity. If you've been thinking about joining with me, please do get in touch to find out the full details. There we go. Let me have a look at my view, see whether what you can see is what you need to see. The sun came out for about 3 seconds and then it ran away. Okay, I think we're all in shot. Hope you've enjoyed that, guys. Don't forget the Bedazzling, you can't purchase it. You have to earn it. When you place an order of £45, you can choose this for free. And there are lots of other choices as well, but I particularly think that paper is just so useful. Scroll for comments. Thank you for stopping by, everybody. Thank you, Belle. Glad you've enjoyed them. Stephanie, Michelle, thank you. You've enjoyed the cards too. Yeah, using the ink and the Versamark. Obviously, with this one, if you'd not used the pale papaya ink underneath and you used just the basic white, you can do the same process and you will get the outline in the colour. If you use just the Versamark and this, you get just like a shiny clear finish, which on basic white won't stand out greatly, but if you are going to use a blending brush over the top of it, that will be lovely. So that's another look that you could do with this flower. Honestly, the possibilities are endless with this one. So super pleased. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. I've been going for nearly an hour and a half. I need to go and check how Alex is getting on with those plinth heaters. And I will be back with you all very soon. So in the meantime, please take care. Don't know if I'll be back Saturday. I'm not sure yet, to see how the week goes. But we will see. And hopefully if I do, it will be something different to play with. So take care, everybody. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you so much. And I will speak with you all very soon. So bye for now.